Good evening. Do you have a place you've always wanted to visit? Maybe some place in Europe, Disney World, LegoLand? No matter your interests, I'm sure you have some place in mind when I ask, where is it you'd like to go? Personally, I had to think about it for a moment because I tend to think about tomorrow instead of big picture planning. I would like to go to many places around the world with my partner, but the one place in the world I find myself wanting to go at least once is Japan. I know that isn't an uncommon place to want to go, uh, but I find it fascinating how different their cultures are to our American culture. To begin, for me, the place to go depends on many factors. How do I budget this trip? Do I need to take an airplane or can I drive? What will my living arrangements look like? How often will I be eating out? And can I get by on Google Translate alone? Among other things, planning is a huge part of any trip. At the same time, how much planning is up to you. The only problem with being spontaneous is that it can be expensive. I won't be able to drive to Japan, as for a small problem that is the Pacific Ocean. So I will definitely have to find a time of year where flying will be cheaper. Going anywhere where you don't speak the language can be intimidating. It's best to do your best to learn the basics and try and get by on that. In the worst case scenario, you can always fall back on Google Translate and hope for the best. I think when traveling, the food you eat is a huge part of the culture and one of the most important parts of any trip. For me, going to Japan means I'll be eating out every night. I'll be trying sushi, unagi, tempura, udon noodles, and sukiyaki. I'll also have to see the sights, anything I'm personally interested in, and what there is to see. Near Tokyo, I'd like to see Kennoji, which is a retro music and fashion scene full of bands, clothing, and vintage one-of-a-kind items. I'd like to also see Shimbura, a cultural hub, the birthplace of many fashion and entertainment trends found throughout Japan. I'd also like to see Asakusa, a more old-fashioned area, which boasts many kimonos and temples along with traditional food. Another place I'd like to see is Kichijoji, which is a tech hub town that has a ton of competitive technology, arcades, traditional food, and natural beauty. Furthermore, it doesn't matter what you like, there will be a place on Earth where you can go, and you can find a lot of it. I chose Tokyo, Japan, for all of the food, the tech, the natural beauty. It also really seems like a place I'd want to visit again and again for how many interesting places there are. As I feel like with the above listed places, I probably won't get to do them all on one or two trips.